In this video, I'll be detailing the events that went down at Technoblade's execution in Lmanberg on Dream SMP. If you like Dream SMP content, make sure to like, as it really helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. Also, according to YouTube analytics, only 14.8% of you guys are subscribed, so make sure to do so. It's free, and you can unsubscribe later if you change your mind. Also, comment down below what your favorite Dream SMP member is. Personally, mine is Technoblade. His character is just amazing. Enjoy the video! Before the events of the Lmanberg-Pogtopian War, Technoblade was an ally of the Pogtopian rebels, giving them armor and resources. They would eventually win the conflict because of the armor and resources that Technoblade gave them. He constantly voiced his opinion on governments, stating that he supported anarchy due to conflicts that would come with governments, but the Pogtopians really just ignored him. After Jayschlot's death, and the reforming of the country Lmanberg, Techno was alarmed that they wanted to instill another government immediately after taking down the previous one. Partially egged on by Dream, who quietly reminded Techno of his anarchist ways, Technoblade spawned in two Withers shortly after Wilbur detonated the TNT underneath Lmanberg. After the Withers were subdued by the remaining allies of Lmanberg and Pogtopia, Techno left the country with the promise that he would destroy any government that tried to establish itself. Despite Techno's threats, Tubbo was elected president of Lmanberg, with Tommy as his vice president, Quackity as his secretary of state, and Fundy as his foreman. With the help of Quackity, Fundy, and Ghostbur, Tubbo rebuilt Lmanberg to be bigger and better than ever before. However, Quackity still had grievances with Technoblade, wishing to end him once and for all. Following Tommy's exile from Lmanberg, Quackity revealed a room hidden in the crater underneath Lmanberg, where he'd built a plot to kill Technoblade. Fundy supported the idea by supplying a book that held the country's current hit list. The three agreed that if Quackity could raise the Butcher army, they'd go after Techno and kill him once and for all, restoring peace to the nation. On the 16th of December 2020, the Butcher army, comprised up of Tubbo, Quackity, and Fundy, arranged to kill Technoblade for his crimes during the previous war, and his hand in destroying parts of Lmanberg because of the Withers. Rambo was also recruited to join the mission due to his close ties to the cabinet. They suspected that Philza had some ties to Techno and demanded that he give them Techno's current location. Phil refused, but while searching through some of his barrels, Tubbo found the compass that pointed to Techno's cabin. As punishment for not obeying their orders, Tubbo had Phil placed under house arrest. As the Butcher army set out, Phil criticized their behavior towards their own citizen and warned Techno that the bounty hunters were coming. Guided by the compass, the Butcher army arrived at Technoblade's cabin in the Arctic. They were intercepted briefly by Ghostbur, who explained that he'd been staying with Techno to make sure that the snow and rain wouldn't make him melt. Ghostbur then tried to distract them from spotting Techno, but they had already spotted him previously. After being called by Ghostbur, to the Lmanbergians' dismay, Techno met them in front of his house and told them that he'd change. He mentioned how much he'd been trying to fight against the voices in his head, begging for blood during his retirement. Techno managed to briefly distract them with his bee farm before trying to make a break for it. The Butcher army caught up with him, and Techno announced that since there was no other way, he'd chosen blood. He splashed himself with several different potions before beginning to attack. Techno managed to kill Tubbo and Fundy before he began going straight for Rambo until Quackity grabbed Techno's prize horse, Carl. Quackity threatened Carl's life if Techno didn't surrender, taking the horse's clothes away. Seeing his friend in danger, Techno complied, handing over his armor, weapons, and potions as requested by Tubbo and the Butcher army. The group of four, along with Ghostbur and friend, escorted Techno back to Lmanberg, where he was expected to stand trial for the war crimes he committed. However, it was revealed that when they arrived, that the Lmanbergians had no intention to hold a trial, instead directly deciding to execute Technoblade. Techno was forced into a cage, and Quackity explained the mechanisms of the execution. An anvil would drop from above, killing him instantly. Tubbo began to make a speech, only to be interrupted by a trident-wielding Puns. Puns attacked the Lmanbergians, attempting to place down TNT on the podium. In the chaos, Quackity managed to push the lever to drop the anvil. However, when the anvil made contact with its prey, Techno survived, gaining the achievement Post-Mortal by using a Totem of Undying before making his escape. While the Lmanbergians were distracted, Dream rescued Carl from the pit and returned the horse to Techno. He showed Techno a secret tunnel that led into the final control room. Inside, Dream had prepared some supplies for Techno to use, including a pickaxe and a full set of iron armor. Techno was in the middle of thanking Dream when he was abruptly interrupted by a pursuing Quackity. The following event is known as Quackity vs Technoblade Duel. Inside the final control room, when asked by Quackity how the anvil didn't kill him, Techno reiterated his hatred for government, and that all of his trouble could have been solved without it. He also voiced that he tried to fight alongside the Pogtopians as brothers, but he felt used by them. like he was nothing more than a weapon. Quackity then stated that he didn't actually care about the Withers, and that he was only out here to carry out the Lmanberg hit list. He told Techno that he was trying to build a country, and in order for its safety, no matter how long it took him, he was going to kill Technoblade. Techno didn't believe that Quackity could kill him. Even with Quackity in full netherite and a diamond axe and himself in iron armor, practically unarmed, Quackity doubled down saying he could, and Techno agreed to fight. He then bolted down the tunnel, splashing himself with potions he'd grabbed from his ender chest. Techno exclaimed, "I have a pickaxe, and I'll put it through your teeth," as he swung his netherite pickaxe enhanced with a strength potion. Techno managed to kill Quackity using said pickaxe, stealing Quackity's armor and weapons in the process. He escaped with Carl through the sewer system, emerging at a sewer entrance at the animal sanctuary before fleeing by boat. Quackity respawned in Lmanberg, appeared downtrodden and deeply changed. Ghostbearer remarked it had seemed like a canon death, to which the others, still in shock, slowly agreed. Tubbo, Quackity, Fundy, and Rambo met once more in the Butcher Army control room, where they figured out their next plan. Tired of Dream pulling the strings, Quackity stated that he wanted to kill Dream for good. Quackity used puns as evidence that Dream had once again interfered in Lmanbergian affairs, convincing Tubbo to approve of the new target. Tubbo reminded the others of his own execution where he'd been tricked by J-Schlot into planning and decorating a fake festival. He suggested that they could hold another festival, probably one for Christmas. Tubbo also mentioned that Dream actually listened to and respected him, citing that Dream actually took his armor off in Lmanberg. This would give them a small window of time to kill Dream by catching him off guard. Before leaving the room, Tubbo gave Quackity the express permission to be the one who killed Dream. After returning to his home, Technoblade found Tommy in his base and discovered Tommy's secret underground room beneath it. They formed an uneasy alliance, with Technoblade willing to help Tommy reclaim his discs as long as Tommy helped Technoblade do some mild terrorism on Lmanberg. This event concludes the post-banishment era and sparks the vengeance era. It also created a shift in between different characters, with Phil no longer trusting Tubbo or any of the other Lmanbergians, Techno, Tommy, and possibly Rambo joining forces, and Quackity reaffirming his desire to kill both Dream and Technoblade. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this history video about Dream SMP. It was really fun to make. I have some other videos on the Dream SMP, and they will be on your screen now, so go watch them. Also, like this video to help me get back into the YouTube algorithm. Anyways, I'm gonna take my leave now. See ya!
I'm on the move, can't stop me if you try. Coasting on now, baby, it's just me, myself, and I. Cause I'm on the move, every step is by design. It's only up from here till the moment I die.